Hi Lorenzo, ¿cómo estás? How's your day?
That's Spanish. I speak Portuguese, but I'm good, yeah.
Thank you. That's very patriotic. Hi Naja,
Hi, Yu.
¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien.
你好吗？
我很好.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Woo.
Patriotism to me is just an extreme love for your country.
That's all.
Yeah.
Short and clear.
The patriotism, I think that it's when you don't put your countries under any other country, but nationalism can be when you put your country higher than the other countries, for example.
I think that patriotism in theory is feeling proud of your country and your cultural elements, but also like know how to criticize and know how to improve our way of living in a certain nation.
Yes, I thought this question might come up. I think in today's society, I'm very ambivalent about my own country. Being English or British or from the United Kingdom, I think as a group of people, a group of islands, they've done some amazing things throughout history and still do amazing things, and I think they've brought a lot of good to the world. But you simply cannot ignore certainly colonialism or huge parts of colonialism and the bad things that happened at that time in history, and not only that, the repercussions and that have carried on for lots of other countries because of colonialism. So yes, I'm proud in a way to be British, but I'm probably very aware, teaching history, of the things that we have done and the reasons we have done them, and not always much to be proud of.
Patriotic because I want the best for my country, but I do not feel like I can accept everything that happens. Like, I don't support most of the things that the government does. I do not support some like political parties from Chile and a lot of the ideologies that are shared in my country. Yeah, the government is just a part of what my country is. Mm-hmm. It's just, and it usually doesn't represent what the people want, especially in the latest years. The government doesn't represent what actually the people of Chile are.
I don't consider myself to be very patriotic. I didn't do anything to be born in my country. Like, I just happened to be born in my country, so I don't really see what's like the legitimacy of like being proud of something like you couldn't even choose. You just happen to be born there.
Yeah,
my country has also a very dark history with colonization, and I still feel like my country does not address the issues that it made.
This is a good question. So I come from a family that everyone in my family works for the Chinese government. But I've never attended one single day in a Chinese public school. So throughout my entire life, I grew up in an international community. But I personally, like within my family, my parents always tells me that I have to like listen to Chinese theme song, and I have to like have this sense of belonging and this sense of root no matter where I go in the future, especially because of my mixed identity of having coming from a Chinese environment, but actually having this global citizenship within me. So to me personally, if someone offends my country or having this kind of stereotypical factor or like stereotypes towards my country, I will absolutely defend my country. But I don't think I'm the type that I agree with every single thing that they do.
I think our patriotism is mostly rooted in a love for ourselves as opposed to a hate for someone else. So I think people don't dislike our current government, but I think in general people are in love with the concept of Jamaica and Jamaicanness, and I think we separate those two things when we're talking about our patriotism. Jamaican patriotism comes from a post-colonial place, which I think is not the same for all types of patriotism. I think Jamaican patriotism comes from a long history of oppression and things like that, so I think it's definitely coming from a different place.
So yeah, you have the one side of the coin that glorifies the colonization and like the old past, and then you have the other side of patriotism in Portugal that glorifies or enjoys the country we have become since the fascist dictatorship fell. They are very different. So they're like two sides of the coin. That's what I'm saying.
So the North has a kind of Viet Cong communism perspective, which means that the patriotism is very much heavily rooted in how do I say, like
People's bones and
traditional people-pleasing communism. That is the traditional patriotism. In the South, it has more to do with, well, people being like modern, and well, in a way they've been kind of westernized. They don't want to stick with, well, the whole regime anymore. They want to be more like involved in the very kind of modernization, the contemporary kind of politics. As they want to go well, further to the territories that are defined in Vietnam. They want to be global citizens, whereas, well, Northerners are more like, well, we stick to traditional values because, well, oh yeah, we're traditional.